Hi, this is the British English Hub. I'm Paul. Today I'm going to be talking about my third session on the present perfect, and we're going to be talking about a common use of the present perfect used in everyday language and everyday context. So we're going to go straight into it. So we're going to be looking at since and for, talking about duration, which is basically a period of time. It's not a specific date. It's a period of time from a point in the past to right now, and we're going to be giving you lots and lots of different examples. Okay, so firstly, here's the objectives. So at the end of the session, you're going to be able to use since and for correctly, talk about how long something has continued, make positive, negative and question forms, which is always important because the grammar often changes, and avoid common mistakes. When do we use since and for? We use the present perfect to talk about something that started way back in the past and continues right to this point in time. It covers a period of time from the past to now. Okay, so examples: I have lived here for 5 years, meaning I moved here 5 years ago and I'm still living here. She has worked here since 2022. She started working in 2022. She hasn't stopped working here. She's continuing right through to now. And we've known each other for a long time. Basically, I don't think there's ever been any breaks in our friendship. We met a specific point in the past. We don't know when. We have no idea when, but we still know each other. We just sort of basically suggesting it's a long period of time and nothing more. We don't mention how long it is or when it was. It's just measured by a long period of time. Okay, so here we go. Started here. This is the timeline and continues right until now. Okay, lived in London for 10 years ago, so it's 2026 now, so we're talking about moving there in 2016, exactly 10 years ago, and continuing to live in London for that period of time. Notice, actually, you can say I've been living as well. You can use the continuous form for this particular part of present perfect. The thing is also, we've got to be mindful of state verbs. State verbs you can't use in the continuous form. You can't say I've been knowing someone for 5 years. I've known someone for 5 years. So be mindful of state verbs. Okay, but in this particular context, I've lived in London, I've been living in London are synonymous. You can say both. Sometimes it's a little bit better to use a continuous form, actually. But anyway, so we move on. So again, for a period of time, these are examples of how long. It's immeasurable, really. For 2 years, for 3 weeks, 6 months, 10 years, for a long time. So you can state days, weeks, months, whatever. It's really unlimited. So you can be quite flexible about that. Here are some examples. I've studied English for 8 years. Started studying exactly 10 years ago, so that will be roughly 2018, and continued studying right through to now. It could be intermittently as well. That might be the case, but we tend to imply that we've actually kept studying throughout that period of time from 8 years ago to right now. She's worked there for 6 months. We could actually include someone's name, like Mary's worked there for 6 months, or John's worked there for 6 months. So again, started 6 months ago, and sort of working right through to now. She's been working there for 6 months. Again, you can use a continuous form. I've lived here for 20 years, or I've been living here for 20 years. Moved 20 years ago, in this case 2006, and continued living right through it uninterruptedly to the current moment in time. Since is slightly different. We use since to say when something began. Could be a day, in this instance Monday, could be a year, 2020, could be a month, since January, could be an event during the day, since breakfast, or it could be what we call an adverbial phrase. Since I was a child, since I started school, since I started going to university. Here are examples using since. I've lived here since 2018. I've been living here since 2018. Again, that's suitable. She's worked there since June, or Mary's worked there since June, or Mary's been working there since June. She started in June and she's continuing right through to now, working in the same place, and we've known each other since university. Now, again, know is a state verb, so we can't use the continuous form. You can actually look up lists of state verbs. There are quite a few in the English language. So you can't say I've been knowing each other. We've been knowing each other. We only can use the simple form here. We've known each other since university. So the positive sentence, again, subject, could be a name, a pronoun. I've lived in London for 10 years. She's studied English since 2023. We've worked together for 6 months. He's owned that car since January. Again, we're talking about a previous moment in time, from the past, from a point in the past right through to now. It's a period of time. Here's some negative sentences. Subject plus haven't plus hasn't plus past participle examples. I haven't seen Maria for 2 years. Meaning, the last time we met was 2 years ago. But maybe we will meet in the future. We use the present perfect to suggest, in this case, that we might still meet somebody at a future point. Okay? She hasn't spoken to me since Monday. So the last time we spoke was Monday, and we haven't spoken since right to the moment, but in the future we might speak. We haven't visited our grandparents for months, and the suggestion is we haven't done for a period of months, but this might come into fruition in the coming weeks, coming days, coming months. It's not really suggested exactly when. And they haven't played football since last summer. The last time they played football was last summer, but in the future they might well play. Again, we can use these how long as well, phrases. How long have you lived here? So these are questions. So we don't say how much time. That's a common mistake. How long, not how much time. Sometimes in other language it translates into how much time, like in Spanish and French, for example. But we say how long. How long have you lived here? Have you worked here for long? We start with the auxiliary verb in question. So, has she known him since school? That would require a yes or no answer. Have they lived in London for many years? Yes, they have. No, they haven't. So these types of questions, when the auxiliary verb is at the beginning, that means it requires a yes or no answer. And again, some more examples of how long. How long have you lived here? I've lived here for 3 months. How long have you worked here? 5 years. How long have you studied English? A long time. You can answer that if you want. And how long has she been married? 5, 6 years possibly. I don't know. Since or for, so choose the correct answer. Here we are. I've lived here 10 years. Would that be for or since? It says 10 years. Think about it. The answer is for 10 years. She's worked here, and we have a year. Is it since or for? Remember? So when there's a year, we tend to use since. She's worked here since 2021. We've known each other. Is it since university or for university? University, we're implying that, obviously, when the time we went to university together. So it would be since in this instance. Finally, making questions, change these to questions. You've lived here for 5 years. She's worked there since January, and they've studied English for 3 years. Have you lived here for 5 years? Has she worked there since January? Have they studied English for 3 years? Thanks very much for watching. It's been a pleasure as always. Please smash a like below. Please subscribe to the channel. We need your support, and please feel free to add a comment. You know, we always take your advice seriously, and it helps us create better content for future sessions. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Take care.